how did you get into fishing, Clement?
How did I get into fishing? One day it didn't go well, and so I was like, you know what? I don't care. I won't be eating with you guys anymore. So, like, that's really how the obsession started. I would finish work at 5:30, and I'd be fishing until 10:30 at night. Like, it was something primal, to get fish out of water and feed them. But they weren't doing it that way. They were doing it just to, for the trophy, like to get a big pike and be happy about it. So I was like, all right, I'll just go and try.
This is what he's thinking. This is the gear he's using. And as you guys can see, throw it up for the audience, Carl, if you haven't already. We got an absolute feed. This was just one of the mornings, and we bagged out. And then that's a trevally.
Oh, that's a trevally. I was wondering.
Yeah, that trevally is 30 centimeters, by the way.
That's a thick salmon.
Dude, check how fat that one is.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah, and here, when I arrived here, I lost a big fish.
Yeah.
Because my spool was too tight. So, fuck.
Dude, like that. But I was thinking this today. When I saw the Pokemon cards, I knew you coming on the show and we were going to talk a lot about fishing, right? And I was like, back in the day, I used to be on the Nintendo. I used to be trying to open packs and catch these little monsters. Now, in real life, I actually do want to get some beasts out of the ocean. And then we were talking about before, recently, I've been on the bow hunting, beginner's arc. So, it all starts somewhere, I guess.
Oh, yes, it
But
does.
how did you get into fishing, Clement?
How did I get into fishing? I got into fishing 10 months ago.
Okay.
Like, not that long, honestly. Because I was starting to work as a carpenter in France. And I was, for the first time, when I went there to work, it's near my grandfather's house. And before I would be sure that I was going to continue and do that work, I was staying at my grandfather's house, so my father's father. And so I went there, and it didn't, like, he has a wife, which is not my grandmother. I wasn't kicking it off really well with her. I've never kicked it off very well with her. She's a bit of a bitch, to be fair. But yeah, that's at least she takes care of my grandpa. But she was just so I was eating with them, and like one day it didn't go well, and so I was like, you know what? I don't care. I won't be eating with you guys anymore. So every night I just started going fishing, and I would finish work at 5:30. And I'd be fishing until 10:30 at night.
Wow.
Every night. But like, that's really how the obsession started. But it really started just two friends of mine. They had been fishing for a year. I was like, one day, oh guys, please take me with you. Like, I want to see, like, why. Like, for me, it was dumb. Like, it sounded a bit dumb. It wasn't, like, it was something primal, to get fish out of water and feed them. But they weren't doing it that way. They were doing it just to, for the trophy, like to get a big pike and be happy about it. So I was like, all right, I'll just go and try. And so I was trying out lures. I got a pike this size.
Yep.
But it was the most exciting thing ever, because I got like a live animal out of water. And I could observe it and just put him back in. And now that I'm fishing at the sea, it's a whole different song, but that's how I got into fishing.
Wow, that's a cool story. And it's awesome that you got friends to introduce it to you like that.
Yeah.
And since we've been here, you're so right, because you only got to... When did you arrive in Australia?
4th of February, so a month and a half ago.
Yeah, but we went out in the boat maybe a month ago now, and we were pulling snapper out of the water, banjo rays, flathead, things that you've never seen before.
Oh,
and
no.
even like the banjo ray, it was like the most interesting thing in the world. Yeah. And it was like, it's a cool creature, but when I catch one, I'm like, damn, this is not what I wanted. I wanted a big fish. And Kamon's looking at it like, damn, look at the spots on its back. And I'm like, shut up, Kamon, this sucks. I thought it was a freaking Dewey or something.
Oh, no.
But no, you're right. Like, being up close to the fish like that, it's a special experience. It's a primal experience.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people don't talk about this side of fishing too, but killing an animal and eating it, there's something primal about that as well. And it's not just about hooking up and the excitement and the adrenaline of catching it. It's actually like feeding yourself and like, in a way, contributing to some sort of life cycle.
Yeah.
Like, for us to live, things must die. And for thousands of years, humans have been doing that themselves. Only in this very small generation has, that kind of been taken out of the process.
It goes the other way around too, doesn't it? Like, we have to die sometimes whilst hunting.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting experience. And like I told you, I started with my friends, but after it was only a solo experience.
Oh
That's
yeah.
what fishing has become after. And I never completely agreed with what the thing of like, well, catch and release. It's not. I don't agree with it. It's not agreeing. In the river, it's more or less better than just to release the fish. Depends. When I get trout, sometimes I keep it because they're good eating fish, but you don't have really good eating fish there. But since I'm here, like I've been basically feeding myself off of fish.
Yeah. Wow.
Like every day I'm eating fish that I've caught.
It's a dream.
It's like the dream. It's you, and no, it's not the dream. You know what? It's not a dream. Like I honestly don't see fishing as joy.
Okay.
I just see it, as you say, something primal, and a need to hunt, a desire to hunt.
What do you mean? What do you mean you don't feel joy from it? Though?
It's just I think it's a need.
Okay.
It's a need. It's something I need to be able to master. I need to be able to master it, but I do take. It's not. I can't say it's pleasure because I don't feel any pleasure because there's cruelty in it, and I don't feel pleasure from the cruelty. But it's
This
very
is a deep
hard
conversation.
It's
I
a
like
very
this.
hard. It's a very hard hard to put words on it. Even in
Yeah.
French, I have a very hard time trying to find a good word to say of it.
Of course.
Like but to be able to get it out, get the fish, capture it, and be able to either release it. But since I'm here most of the time, I don't release them. I take them and I eat them. But it's all about the respect and you get your food out of it behind, and it's just it's a wonderful experience, and
Yep.
it feeds like you say, something primal.
Yeah.
And that is really a hard time just putting the words. It's such a weird, because at the same time the cruelty of it is like it heartbreaks me to kill a fish. I love fish. I honestly, we had a talk about that. I think where we were not we did not agree at all on that. I was like, oh, I love the fish. I'm basically in love with the fish, and
And I was like,
no. I just want them out of the water.
I know. And we see it differently, because you're right. I know exactly like your train of thought, and I agree to an extent, but I do feel joy from fishing. I like feel genuine joy. I love it. It's fun. The pursuit is fun to me, and it is pleasure. Like I think about that all the time. I'm literally like pleasure seeking, like a drug addict trying to get his next hit. I'm trying to get my next fish. It's the same thing. And so, and that's what it is to an extent. You're like dopamine chasing, and I love it. It's like, it gives me a sense of purpose while I'm doing it, gives me a sense of adventure. And that's literally what I live for. That's when I'm happiest, when I'm doing those types of things. And fishing's just one avenue for that, but I can get there a bunch of different ways. But the thing is, it has to be difficult. This is also what I've learned in, the way I am. It has to be hard. And fishing, we've had to talk about this before. So for context for the audience, Clement and I went out rock fishing, what was that, 3 weeks ago? Like maybe a week after we went out on the boat. And the morning of, it was like 4 a.m. We get down to the rocks, and we're both talking to each other while we're setting up the rods, and we go, yeah, we've learned our lessons. Like you talked about losing a big fish like a week ago, and I talked about losing a big fish a week ago, which I did. And we were like, look, we've learned our lessons. We're going to be like really disciplined on the reel in and not get snagged and all this. Over the course of the morning, we lost 3 amazing fish. three great hookups where the line is spooling out, incredible action. Lost all 3. And so it's tough. It can get tough.
Human error.
Human error.
That's what we took out of it. Yeah, human error.
It can be human error so much, but the circumstances are so hard a lot of the time. Like you think about what we're facing, conditions, waves, slippery rocks, other people, line getting tangled while we're trying to fight the fish. Like some things you just can't control, and you sort of have to just go in and just be okay with that. Like you're not going to win all the time. Like you're going to go home and not catch any fish. And it's going to happen a lot of times. It might happen, a lot of days in a row. You go out and you try and you don't get anything. But it's like, it teaches the persistence. And this is what we were talking about too. It teaches the discipline, because you got to be locked in, not just when you're reeling it in or when you're like casting out. Obviously that has to be good, but your rig has to be perfect. Your line has to be perfect. Your knowledge of which line to put on and which rig to use and how to bait it so it stays on the hook and doesn't go away. Like literally thinking down to the most narrow details is how fishermen have the most success. And that pursuit I get joy from too. So,
I think the English word is diligence,
oh yeah,
isn't it?
it is.
Like diligence, like being like being very concentrated on something and doing it. Putting out. What's the definition exactly of diligence? Can you search up the
Pull that up,
definition?
Carl.
Yeah, the definition of diligence exactly, because I think that translates in one word exactly all you said, and it's applying hard work on it and to get progress in. But I completely agree with what you mean, except that for me, when you go to fish, if you lose a fish, it's out of human error. Like once the fish is hooked on, when the moment where you stop waiting and your bait's not waiting in it and the fish's caught on, at that moment, if you don't do it at the right time, you don't hook at the right time, you don't manage to put him up, it's human error. It's because you did something wrong
true.
at one moment. Maybe the waves were crashing in, maybe it was slippery, but you should have taken all of that into account for me when you arrived here. Like where are we gonna pick the fish up? Where are we gonna land it?
Yeah.
And we managed more or less to do that, but it was pretty hard, and that showed a bit that we are still young and that we're still learning in some regards. We managed to do that pretty well. You call onto the fish, the first one, the big banjo ray you got.
Yeah. And then we got that small trevally as well. So we started having a good day.
Yeah.
And then, we hooked up to some monsters and we lost.
Yeah.
Hold on, you had diligence up there, Carl.
Yeah.
What happened? We
We started speaking again.
Yeah. But dude, I took that shot when I was in Japan, and that's Mount Fuji from this place called the Mount Fuji Hotel. Dude, like they've got these, what do they even call them? Like the baths that they have there, and they had this bath there overviewing the mountain. It was incredible.
Oh, that must be pretty nice.
Incredible. Oh, here we go, Carl. We got it. Diligence.
Careful and persistent work or effort. Yeah, you'll have to excuse my poor English to find ways to give definitions. I'm still getting back onto English.
No. That's
but yeah,
That's
careful.
a good word. It's like doing your due diligence.
It is.
Yeah,
It
but
is. Perfect.
But that's going to allow me to bounce back onto something else. Diligent is what an old man at my hostel called me. That old man, I'm going to give you context because I think he's been a big part of my experience here until now. This guy is 63 years old. His name's Brinton, and he's an Australian guy who comes from from Manly, and he's a big free diver, spear fisherman. Well, was, and he got me into I was diving because this girl just gave me all her diving shit, and I was like, wow, I'll at least try it. First, when I arrived here, I was like, I'm just here for fishing. I'm not getting into the water. I don't care. I just want to take things out of the water, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah, you don't want to go in.
Yeah, exactly. So I started diving, and I was like, oh, this is beautiful. And he took me one night to Ferry Bower. That's how you call it, right? A bit further from Shelley. He took me there. I went diving there. And yeah, first off, that's a pretty funny fact to talk about. There was 4 spear fishermen in the water at that moment. One got out. He arrived towards us. Of course, he was a fucking French. and he showed us. He had caught a bonito this size. I'm not fucking with you. It was a big bonito and a beautiful fish. And he told us he got out because he saw a bull shark in it or whatever. And I was like, all right. And so we went back. We arrived to the waterfront. And you know how it is over there. It's a big rock porch. I don't know how you would say it. There's this big cliff that does an angle with the big porch, and it gives on to the water, and it's a 7-meter drop off at first, and it goes down to 12 meters there.
Okay.
So we arrived next to the water, and I was like, oh, yeah. And the old man, he was getting ready to get in the water.
No questions asked.
Yeah, no questions asked. And I was like, oh, fuck, this old guy's going to get me killed. And so I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go in anyways. And so I went in. And of course, first thing I tell to myself is you don't panic in those moments. You must absolutely, as soon as you take the decision that you're going in, you got to get the fear factor out and just enter the water. And I got in, and mate, I entered a new world that day. I swear, I really entered a new world. It was just, I think I've never seen anything as beautiful as that. You've got a drop off that goes 7 meters down. you've got like schools of yakka from everywhere, fish everywhere around you, and it's just, I don't know. There's something about it. You really enter another world. And the thing with freediving is that you're so free. You know, for as long as you can hold your breath, you're basically flying underwater, flying above mountains, underwater mountains, and it's just, my brain switched at that moment, and I was freezing because I was like topless because I didn't have a wetsuit at that point. All my wetsuits are in France, so you know, like basically I'm the basic French tourist doing dangerous, stupid stuff with an old Australian guy who spent his life spearfishing in big swells, and oh, mate, it was just incredible, and I haven't stopped diving since that day.
Wow.
And that's why I wanted to get into spearfishing too.
So have you bought a spear?
I've got a spear.
Yeah,
I bought it.
you were telling me that you'd had it go.
Yeah, I've bought a spear like 3 days ago.
Okay. Have you used it?
Oh yes, I have.
Or have you got anything?
Yes, I have.
Oh, nice. What have you got?
At Mo Wong's. Basically,
yeah?
that's what I was aiming for.
Do you have a photo?
I don't have my
Oh, you
phone.
don't have your
I don't
phone,
have
that's
my
right.
phone. I forgot my
How
phone.
did you even forget your phone, dude?
I absolutely don't know. And it's just I arrived at the rocks at freshwater, and I was like, all right, I'll just send a message to Ethan to tell him that I'm gonna basically be fishing here, and if he ever wants to meet up with me before we go and fish.
Yep.
Like
No fun.
Or if I'm getting carried out with fishing and it's like 7 already, just come and shout at me and say, "Come on, Frenchman, please."
Yeah. We'll see you on the rocks, literally in the middle of a huge battle, and it's like, bro, don't get him out. We need to go down and help him. Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
and I was like, mate, you didn't take your phone. and most of the time, I don't care about that.
So true.
But that was like the exact moment where I just needed it because I wanted to be able to contact you, and I was like, oh, and I don't even know what time it is. I had no idea what time it is. If it was like 4, 5, whatever, I had no clue.
I hear you.
And I was like, well, I'll go fishing, and I'll ask some guy that's going on the walk when I'm finished, and see how I am.
See what the time is.
Yeah.
And you just took a
So-
guess. Well, you made it.
Yeah, I made it, and I made it earlier than you.
I know. I was still coming home. Oh, it was good. And we had a fat chat before. It was fantastic.
We had a nice little chat, didn't we?
Yeah, well, I want to talk about fishing in France because, like, most people, they watch the show, they hear me talk about flathead, snapper, brim, salmon all the time. And I want to get into a story just from the last weekend. But before we do that, give the people a bit of context in what you're fishing for in France, what you're using to catch them with the lures and things, and what the locations look like.
So I'm gonna start off with the river because I've only fished the sea once in France, and I wasn't successful, but I met an old man that was successful, and they explained me a few techniques. Sorry, I was saying that with a bloody French accent.
No, it's okay. It's more authentic.
So I'll give you the sea after because you're more of a sea fisherman than a river fisherman, right?
Of course.
I'm more of a river fisherman, although I've been more successful at sea than the river, to be fair. So rivers in France. So I was fishing on the river called Le Lot
Okay.
in Espalion, and I'd love to actually show.
Pull it up, Carl.
Yeah,
Get the
just-
map up.
Yeah, show. Try and find. You put Espalion, Espa like ESPA and lion, and try and find a picture where you see the 2 bridges that give onto a palace behind. It'll probably be one of the first that pops up. So that'll go back to what we were saying about Templars earlier, and we can give context to that after.
No, we can.
And so that river, that place is a very special place for me because that's where I started fishing. That's where I was doing my 6 to 10 every night. And that's also where my father comes from.
Gotcha.
So I've been going there since I'm young. I'm looking at that river since I'm young and just not thinking about it. But this was me interacting with the life from where my father comes from. And this river, besides being beautiful, is very hard to fish. A lot less fish these last years, like in a lot of places in France. And you have to go very remote for fish. But even there, you're not even sure to be successful. But anyway, I'm getting astray. So I fished, at first I was fishing for trout. That's what, like when I started fishing, I was fishing for trout. I got a few, but then I learned about the Welsh catfish.
Okay. That sounds like a mythical beast. Of the deep.
That's a monster, mate. That's the biggest one recorded was 2 meters 70,
Oh,
and that's a freshwater fish. That's a freshwater fish.
that's a big fish.
That's
And catfish had those big heads on them.
Yeah,
So
and
he would've
those
been
big
a-
jaws.
Yeah,
big
he would have been a
jaw-
wide,
but not
fat
jaws,
fish.
but like the scrapey teeth.
Yeah, I know
Like
what
you
you
can
mean.
put your hands in them. Have you seen the videos of the guy in America that just how do they call
Yeah.
it? They call that how do they call it? Noodling. The guy's noodling. That's the way they call it. Very funny way for very dangerous sport. But I started getting obsessed with that fish because I was looking for the fight. Like I was getting fish, but they were in the river most of the time. You're not going to find fish that, like the ones you're going to catch most of the time, they're going to be 30, 40 or less. The big ones are like the 70, the 1 meters, a lot more wary. Most fish in the river are wary, by the way. Very, very wary fish. Even the bait fish are very, very wary. So it's a very different approach. But that Wales catfish, that was like the apex predator, the new apex predator, because it's been introduced like 50 years ago from Eastern Europe.
Wow.
But that, like, I was like, oh, I want to capture that. Like, I've always been wanting, like, since I've started to fish, to just see my rod go like that and just be in the mind-boggling battle for an hour. That's all I've been dreaming. Not all, but that's one of the main things I've been dreaming about.
Of course.
Like, I want to fight the biggest predator there is. And so I never caught one, to make it short. And I've spent 10 hours under the rain.
What baits were you using?
I was using Cheven.
Okay.
Or that's a typical river fish from France.
Okay.
I've been using gardon. Like that's another typical French roaches. You call them roaches.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
roaches,
Yeah, yeah.
roaches, and otherwise lures.
Yep. All right.
Or I've been using like pieces of pork meat. Apparently they bite on that pork liver. They bite on that too.
Yeah.
I've spent really hours and hours and hours waiting through the night under rain, just at the side of in the remote part of the river, just waiting for hours and hours and hours and hours, and I've never got one. I've got big pike that way,
Yep.
but
Like as a bit of a bycatch.
yeah,
like
exactly.
they'd pick up on all
but
the
that was
baits.
pretty good. They give a good, and I've got a few pikes on lures too, and they've given good fights. But it's not like if I compare to my fight with a kingfish or with the eagle ray, you can't compare.
Did you get an eagle ray recently?
I did, and that's a powerful fish.
Understatement. Like honestly, 30-minute battle at minimum. Sometimes those things.
Yeah, that fish, like honestly, I reeled him in 3 or 4 times at least, and every time he would just bolt back into the sea, like ripping line out of my reel.
Dude. The first run, when you hook them, you can't even believe that it's moving that fast.
Yeah.
Like, I've had situations where I'm holding the rod and the eagle ray, which I don't know is an eagle ray at the time, takes the bait and just starts heading out to sea.
He
And
bolts.
steam is coming off my reel as it's spinning around. Literally, it's in winter, when it happens, like your reel's spinning so quick, it's crazy. And you can't believe it when it's happening. And once you've caught a few of them, you start to identify it. You're like, this is a fish. This is like the biggest Dewey I've ever caught, or it's an eagle ray.
Yeah.
But they're beautiful creatures.
Oh,
Though. Have you
beautiful.
seen them like similar to the banjo ray experience? Have you seen them up close and the spots on their back? And
Yeah,
everything?
I had to manipulate it.
Yes.
Like that's how you say it.
Yep.
Like lucky me, I always have my leather gloves in case I catch a ray. So I went up, took the leather glove, catch the tail.
Oh, yeah?
Flipped it, dehooked it, and pushed it nicely into the water.
That's a manly way to handle it. I wear like, most of the time I have some shoes, like even just little slides will do. And what I do, I flip him over at the front.
Yeah.
Then I stand on his tail, not like hard, but just enough so he can't move it and he can't sting me. And then I'm free to get the barb out of his mouth. But yeah, like holding it, I could do that. I should do
But
that.
it was honestly, I was very wary because it's very slippery.
Yeah.
And my glove, when I looked at it, they're like yellow leather gloves, and it was full of black ink on my well, black poison basically. And
Yeah,
I was like,
whatever
oh,
that shit is.
I was not, well, and I was wearing thongs, mate. I was with thongs on my feet, so I was like, oh, this is a tricky situation. So I managed to flip it, hold it, took it out, and nicely pushed him back in. And after he got, but that was a beautiful battle. I felt him in my back, honestly. Like that's a powerful fish.
So powerful.
And when he gets out of the water, it's really impressive. It's like flop, 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 flop under the water, and he makes heaps of noise. It was a beautiful battle. Beautiful.
They are a beautiful fish. But
And they are
a lot of the time, though, when I am fishing, they piss me off so much because you're just stuck in the battle with them. Like unless you want to cut your line, and they take out so much line that if you're sacrificing half your spool, you know, if you cut them off early, and then so you're like, all right, I'll wheel him in, but sometimes it takes like 30, 40, 50 minutes to reel him in.
Yeah, but
and then you get to the end of the day and you're like, fuck, I didn't catch any fish because during the prime time, during sunset between 7 and 8, I was battling the eagle ray the whole time, and now I have to go home. So that has happened before. But dude, I wanted to bring this up. And Carl, I sent you the airdrop photo. You got to pull it up now. I went to Narooma last weekend with my uncle, and my uncle, he's the one that got me into fishing. Like I've always lived on the northern beaches, so fishing's always been an option for me, but I never really pursued it. And then my uncle, he lives in Melbourne. He would take me out in the boat and we'd get a bunch of flatties, and like 30, 40 flatties at a time. We'd go out like 5, 6 of us and just have an absolute day out there. And flathead, as you know, tastes delicious. One of the best eating fish you can catch. And that experience and those experiences on the boat and fishing with him was just like, dude, I'm near the water. I can do that too. And then so I started beach fishing off the rocks, etc. And then with my uncle, and when I go fishing with my uncle, it's always training camp. It's literally training camp for fishing. That's how I think about it.
That's beautiful.
I'm here to learn. He's going to teach me so much. Every time I go away with him, I become a much better fisherman. Because you just pick up on the details, the little things.
Yeah.
This is what he's thinking. This is the gear he's using. And as you guys can see, throw it up for the audience, Carl, if you haven't already. We got an absolute feed. This was just one of the mornings, and we bagged out. This is like 10 salmon right here, and you're only allowed to catch 5 each.
What is
so we
that?
bagged out, and then that's a trevally.
Oh, that's a trevally. I was wondering. Yeah.
That trevally is 30 centimeters, by the way. Really? Yeah. So those fish are big.
That's a thick salmon.
Dude, check how fat that one is.
Yeah.
The one at the bottom is like,
Yeah.
No, honestly, these.
It's the shadow. But this one, he looks real fat.
Dude, and it was the most incredible weekend. This is in a place called Narooma, as I was saying, which is 5 hours south of Sydney, and honestly, fishing paradise. Like rock fishing, there's estuaries there. There's obviously amazing beach fishing. And like that wasn't all. On this morning, we ended up getting a few more trevally, and one of them was a bit small. So we brought it. So my uncle, you know, he's experienced. He's been in this beach 100 times. I've only ever been to Narooma like a couple of times. And he knows that there's big seagulls there, giant seagulls there. Like I've never seen really seagulls of that size before. I've seen a few like at random on the northern beaches, but super rare and oftentimes not very big. The ones down there, absolutely huge. And there was one sitting in a tree maybe 500 meters away, and my uncle says, take the small trevally that you just got, walk to the middle of the beach, peg it up in the air and back away and just see if the eagle comes down. And sure enough, the eagle came down, talons out, swooped it up. It was beautiful. It was absolutely amazing.
Mastery.
Dude.
Mastery, yeah.
And he was like, my uncle was like, yeah, it happens all the time, mate. That eagle's here all the time. And I was like, this is the most incredible experience of my life. I'm changed. But, oh, dude, that beach in where we were, and it's a bit of a secret location. You have to get there via 4-wheel drive, and it's not like you're standing on the beach and you look as far as you can left, as far as you can right, and you don't see any people. It's beautiful serenity. It seriously is. And then we went back in the afternoon, got 2 more. Oh no, this was the next night. Got 2 more salmon, couple tailor, couple banjo rays that we ended up eating. Apparently, well, not apparently, we tried it. So I've never eaten banjo rays until this trip. We decided to take a few tails because their tail has a lot of muscle, but the flaps, it's very hard to get meat off the flaps. You can just grill them up, like chop them in half, cut them up. But we took the tails, threw the rest in for a bit of burley, and it was delicious. It wasn't like gummy shark flake, but it was very flaky, and it was similar but not perfect.
You know, I got before I caught the eagle ray, I caught shovel nose.
Oh yeah?
And
You ate it?
He hooked himself deep, so I took him back.
Yep.
Like I only took the tail. Mm-hmm. And
Good idea.
So what I did was I put him in. I put the fillets in vinegar and lemon, and I let that for one night.
Okay.
And after eggs, breadcrumbs, you know the drill, and it was beautifully good. It was really good because it's very tender meat.
So
like
true.
they don't have any bones in it. Like the bones are only on the back.
Yeah, the spine.
On the spine, yeah. Sorry, I couldn't find
No,
it.
no, no, it's okay.
And yeah, and it was really, really good. So I made a meal for me and a guy who didn't. It's for another guy who was there.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, this is delicious. I've never eaten such a fish, but he eats shit every night, so I can't really take his
word for it.
His word for it.
This probably is the best meal he's had in a long
Probably.
time. Yeah. No, well, I went away. It would have been a little while ago now, a month and a half ago, and we were at a beach and we caught a nice trevally and a nice brim, but we had a lot of boys to feed. It was me and my mate. We were doing like all the fishing, and there was maybe 8 boys staying. Actually, this was Australia Day long weekend, and there was 8 boys in an Airbnb. Me and another mate go down fishing, trying to feed the boys, and we end up getting a good brim, a good trevally, but we just can't stop hooking up on shovel nose. So eventually we're like, screw it. We're taking the tails and we're throwing them back, and then we're just moving on, and we'll just take, I think we ended up taking like 3 or 4 tails. Man, that was delicious. And you're right, the meat is so tender. I've been sleeping on shovel nose sharks for years, because for years I was just like, I hate them. I hate banjo rays. I hate shovel nose sharks. I don't want to catch them. I don't like fighting them. They suck. As soon as I feel the fish or the rod, the end of the rod, start to suck down on the bottom, my heart sinks because I'm like, oh, it's not a fish. But now they got to watch out because they're tasty. And you're right. You got to do it. You got to do it the right way. You do it with the flour, the eggs, the breadcrumbs, a little bit of salt.
Really try what I did. Like let
With
it
the
marinate.
vinegar. I've never done that
Vinegar
before.
and lemon. Basically, I did that because I was
gotta try that
I
out.
was at the hostel.
Yeah.
And I couldn't eat. I was eating the fish from the day before. And every day I moved on
I hear
like
you.
that.
The next day's catch.
I had to find a way to cut off the smell and to keep the meat good and like to pre-cook the meat in some
Yeah.
regards. So vinegar, salt, or lemon, those are different ways of pre-cooking the meat. Vinegar and lemon, it gave it a really, really nice taste. Like the lemon taste, you could just feel it. It was beautiful.
I should try that because I catch shovel nose sharks. I wouldn't say all the time, but when you're up north, you catch them so much more. Like I was telling you about going up to the entrance, which we might do in a couple of weeks. And that is, it's not fishing paradise like Narooma because Narooma's fishing paradise. The entrance is sort of the fishing capital of New South Wales. That's sort of how I think about it because it's busy. Like you don't get to a beach in the Central Coast and look right and there's no one there, and look left there's no one there. There's a bunch of people there because there's fish there and people are fishing because they love it. And a lot of people live there to fish, to surf, to live that beach lifestyle. And up there you get a bunch of shovel nose, and I would say majority of people do throw them back. Maybe 75% of people throw them back.
I understand.
Yeah, I understand too.
Like,
For years, I was throwing them back. So I can't necessarily judge people, but honestly, I had them and I was like, I'm converted now. These guys got to watch out. Their population numbers are going to be going down. So, because honestly, sometimes you're up the Central Coast and you literally can't stop hooking them. And you're like, it's pissing me off. Like, because there's other fish out there. Your bait just needs to stay out there long enough to get hit by something else. But shovel nose, literally within 2 minutes of throwing your bait out. And just like the eagle ray, just wastes a whole session. And you're like, oh, this was good, but it's not what I'm here for. Now,
I understand. I'm happy because I got the fight, at least. Maybe you didn't get a feeling, but at least you got the fight.
it's true. And that's the thing, you desensitize a little bit too. Like you've obviously only been in Australia for like a month and a half now.
Yeah.
So like catching a shovel nose for you is like the greatest
Oh,
experience.
it's really
What?
cool. It's a new animal.
If I caught a pike, even a small pike, I would be like, this is incredible. Even though I've caught much bigger fish here, I'd be like, because it's new, right? And it's the same thing with you. But like for me, it's that repetition and just getting them over and over again. It just like desensitizes you to the fight. But
Don't eat pike, mate, by the way.
no, I'm not going to. You told me they were disgusting, right?
They're not that good. Well, I'm sure you can make them good.
Yeah.
I only ate one once, and
Okay.
it's because he had it in his how do you call it?
On his gills?
Yeah, he had
Yep.
the hook in his gills.
Yep.
So I ate him. I made a fire on the side of the river. And I cooked him there. Like you have to clean them first.
Yeah.
Because like river fish, no, lake fish, because I call them in the lake. They have a bit that dirty, dirt like taste, and you have to with vinegar or whatever. You have to take the taste out.
Yeah,
like
gotcha.
you really have to change it. So yeah, no, don't pike not that good. Trout, they're good. Trout are pretty good.
Well, this is what I wanted to talk about too. Fingers crossed. We don't know what's going on with the war in Iran yet. We're in mixed signals. I don't know. What do we think, Carl? We think it's going to go on. We won't talk about that. What I am going to talk about is in 3 months' time, I'm off to Europe. I'm going France, Spain, and then I'm finishing off the trip in Egypt. So fingers crossed, everything good in the Middle East by then. But I was going to ask you, I'm sort of in the Hossegor region. Like we're staying in Bordeaux for a couple of nights, then in Hossegor, and then down at Goudiray. And we're going to be doing a bunch of surfing and maybe even some fishing there. Like hopefully I can hire a rod or maybe even just buy a cheap rod. I might just bring a couple rigs with me just in the back pocket. Just
take your reel, mate.
Yeah, that's
your
a good idea.
reels.
Take the reel.
The reels.
Yeah, you're right. Because then I can just hire a rod, and then I know if I got my
Facebook
reels,
Marketplace too is pretty good.
Exactly. Literally, just get a rod, and then you're good to go. That's a smart idea. Because the plan is we're going to be in Hossegor with the family, so we're going to be there having a good time surfing majority, and then once that kind of wraps up, we've got a week before the San Fermin Festival in Pamplona. So during that week, where we want to be, obviously, we're going to do like a bit of a caravan road.
Wait, you're
trip.
going to Pamplona in Spain?
Yeah.
You're going to La Feria?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Exactly.
Oh, you're gonna have an experience.
And I'm going to try and run. That's the plan.
That's a real experience.
Oh
mate.
yeah. Sorry, I skipped forward to that.
My friends dream of that.
Oh yeah,
of doing that. Yeah.
Would you want to do it one day?
I've already done a few. I'm not a party man.
Okay.
I like it, but I don't like it enough.
I'm not a party man either. That's what's like.
But getting run after by a bull, that must be pretty fun. Yeah, that must be pretty exciting. Yeah,
that's sort of my plan, because this, for the last 2 years, I haven't really drank. Like the last time I had alcohol, it was a long time ago, sometime early last year, I think. And for a long time, I haven't really been a big party person either. But when I go over there, my plan is that like I run with the bulls in the morning, because it happens at like 8 a.m. in the morning, and then that adrenaline hit just carries on through the rest of the day, and I just like survive off the adrenaline, and that's the party atmosphere. Like being chased by a bull for 30 minutes just powered me up the whole day.
But it's a different type of party. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice. Yeah, just be wary of rugby men. They just like to get into a fight. Those bastards.
I wouldn't be surprised. It would be amazing, because it's going to be people from all different types of cultures everywhere from around the world.
But you'll see they like it's a very try to fuck with you culture.
Oh yeah, in
what
way?
Like I see my mates in my head, like how they are. They would do it too. It's just like they just fuck with you. They just fuck with you. It's like it's not even mean, but it's a bit mean at the same time. It's just really weird. It's like sarcasm, but to a very far extent, like taking a piss, but just to laugh. And it's just, I can understand when you're foreign that you find it really disrespectful.
Yeah.
I remember like I was making sarcasm to an American girl when I arrived here. Oh, she didn't take lightly to it. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like she got really offended, and I was just fucking with her, joking around. And when you because we push jokes, like we don't stop. Like we continue onto the joke,
Yeah.
And it's like, like culturally, I've understood that it's it doesn't.
It clashes with some people, That's the thing. I feel like in Australia, it's kind of a good mix. Like in society, if you're going out to the pub, very low chance that you're like disrespected by someone you don't know. Like if that, it has happened to me before, but like 1 in 100 nights, and like maybe something starts, maybe something almost starts, but most of the time you're absolutely okay. But you're right, in those kind of like,
especially because there's heaps and heaps of people there. You're gonna see it's really incredible, because you have people everywhere.
People just descend on the city.
People from 60 to 18 everywhere. Like it's really, that's what I really liked with it. It's like you have people from every age group. You've got what we call les bandas.
Okay.
The groups that play trumpets, drums in the city. They walk around playing these, not only those instruments, but those are the only name of instruments that I can recall in English. And they play around. They're young, old, and they play around the town. They go around the town. And it's just, it's a really nice atmosphere. At one moment, it just becomes drinking, but It depends, honestly.
part of the game.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
It's
Yeah,
part of the environment. You're there to party, have a good time.
I reckon you'll really enjoy it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you're there for the human energy. Like a whole, like thousands of people descend on this small little town.
Oh,
for
yeah.
one event over this 1 week, and yeah, just to be.
You're
there
gonna do the
and
week?
experience it. No, I'm gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
there. I'm gonna be
That's
there
hardcore.
from like the 5th to the 9th, or the 5th to the 10th.
All right.
I think we check out on the 10th. So we'll be like leaving sometime on the 10th, and we'll probably, and hopefully we can go from there to somewhere cool as well. We haven't necessarily figured out that portion of the trip, and then a week later we do a tour in Egypt, which would be insane. That's been on the bucket list for my whole life, literally my whole life. Like my whole life, I've been obsessed with ancient history, and not just like classical ancient history, like Egypt, pyramids, but in like the mysteries of the ancient world, like Atlantis, ancient things in the Bible. All these things have just been always on my mind, and Egypt is the pinnacle of that. It's literally like the capital for the unanswered questions of the past, and to go there has been my dream for so long, and I cannot wait. I am so excited for this war to be over, and so I can definitely go. Because if I was to miss out on that, it would suck. It's like, because even when I've had some great trips, and we talk about travel and other guest travel and my travel experiences all the time on the show, but like even the Nepal trip, which I talk about all the time, that wasn't necessarily my dream. My brother wanted to do that, and then my friend convinced me, and it ended up like being the best thing ever. And I'm literally a better man because I went on that trip. This trip, it's like from day one, like since I became conscious, I've been like pyramids, it's like wigging out over it. So yeah, I'm super, super excited. And have you got any? So
Wait, since you're in high school,
you're
in high school, you should go to Biscarrosse.
Okay.
That's a pretty nice place.
How do you spell that?
BISCARRROSSE.
Yeah, you're so. Thank you for spelling that for me. I wouldn't have got that.
It's just here,
Dude, well, I've been trying to, because obviously when you're booking the trip, you got to go through like French websites and stuff, and some of the words you're like, oh yeah, that looks like English, and then some of them you're like, man, I got no shot. I got absolutely no shot. Yeah.
It's like whenever they say a name in like French, it's like in the even in the fighter interviews, like you the only word you pick up from like before the translation is like when they say the fighter's name.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it. I know I can almost speak this language, and then you go online.
What word?
Yeah, you go online to try and book something, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm cooked. Okay. So is there good fishing there?
So basically, that's where I went. This is the only time I went fishing in the sea in France. Very unproductive day. I come back, I see an old man on a sandbank on the other side of what we call a bain.
Okay.
I don't know how you call it, and I'll get into it later. And he comes back to me, and he just pops a bag full of fish of bass in front of me.
Sea bass.
Yeah, sea bass, bass and spotted bass, and basically a bain is do you know, because I haven't seen any here. I haven't seen that formation here. It's basically you've got a sandbank. Well, let's say it more this way: the sea makes a big hole right near the seafront on the beach. We're on the beach. There's surfers use it often in France, basically to go out. To get out. Get out.
It's like a rip. It's
we
would maybe call it a gutter here, and it's like there's a sandbank out the back, but in shallow is a really deep gutter.
Exactly.
It's like a hole where fish can.
Exactly.
Be. Yeah.
And there's this big hole, the seafront, the big hole, and there's another sandbank on the side, and there's shallows on this side. And water pours in to that big hole there.
Yes.
Basically, what you do is you go to that sandbank when it's tide is going up, 1 or 2 hours before. Go to that sandbank that's behind, and you fish with lures into the waves that come into the gutter. That's how you call it.
Yep.
Into the gutter, and you fish into those waves.
Gotcha.
Because basically the bass, like everything's getting exposed, bringing back in, and they are hunting around those estuaries. I don't know if I can call them like that. Those exits and like they're exits, but they're also entry points. They fish, they are around there, and you don't have to really bother about like thin line or whatever. You can even put it on braid.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like so like there's so many waves at that point at that place that they don't really see. They're more acting on instinct.
Yes.
White is a very good color. The best is to have like 40 grams lures approximately.
That's pretty heavy.
Pretty heavy, but for lures that are this size and this this large. That's why he told me.
Sort of stick bait spoon.
Oh no, not that big. Like
not that
really, like they're small but heavy.
Okay.
Small but heavy. Like
Yes.
really maximum, like 10 centimeters maximum. Like
right.
real maximum. Like they don't have that big of mouths.
Okay.
And yeah, so you put 40 grams. So that's pretty heavy.
That's pretty heavy.
So that's what the old man showed me.
Yeah.
And waders is better to have with you. And also be very careful because when the high tide comes in, if you get stuck on that side, you can just get expelled back out into the
Atlantic
sea.
Ocean.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want that to happen,
No,
I
we
reckon.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Because those gutters, I don't know if that's a good word. I'll have to
No. It's
check
okay.
later.
But I feel like I understand what you're
Yeah,
saying. Yes.
Gabe, you'll have to.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to do something for us here. And basically, these. Oh, what was I about to say? I sent a message to Gabe there.
No,
and
you
I
were saying that you could get sucked out, and then you were about to say these gutters they can.
Oh.
Were you gonna say like they can move and change, and then you get?
Oh, they change all the time.
Yeah, well,
they change all the time, and a lot of people have been sucked into the sea. But that's not really what I meant. But you know what? We'll move on.
That
I'd like
happens
just
here too.
yeah, I reckon so.
Like, well, this beach, South Curly Beach, classic example, because sometimes a big gutter on the inside can open up and it's paradise. And I've caught so many fish like that. But right now, it's just not producing. It doesn't really have the shape and structure that you're looking for. And exactly what you're saying, you need the entry and exit points for the big fish to come into the hole. And that's what's important is the deep water close so that you can cast into it. There's a big hole there where there's, deep enough to harbor big fish. But what you really need is a really clear entry and exit point, like nice rips coming through either side that can be a bit of a feeder for big fish coming through. And that's what I try and do out the front here, especially when I'm mulloway fishing, is I'll put big baits out, and it'll be when the conditions are perfect and it'll be dark and a big mulloway can swim through that entry looking for fish at night, boom, and hopefully you hook up. But I've only ever caught mulloway once, and that was actually not even here. That was up the coast. And most of the time I freaking get salmon instead of mulloway while I'm at South Curly.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. The salmon that everyone would have seen in the photo. A lot of people don't think they're a good eating fish. I completely disagree. I love to have them as sashimi. That's probably my favorite way to have them, to be honest. Completely raw, straight out of the ocean, not even in the fridge, no nothing. Just boom, fillets off, and then bit of soy sauce, maybe a bit of lemon. But honestly, I just have it with the soy, and it is delicious. Like, honestly, better than what I'd get at the sushi shop, better than what I'd get from the supermarket. So good, super fresh. Then another way I do it, which is the way I do a lot of fish, is obviously just get the crumbs, flour, eggs, crumbs, butter them up, boom, straight in the pan, and that tastes delicious too. I had that with those 10 salmon we caught. I filled up 3 of them, and I cooked myself a whole bunch of meals for the week, and I had those for lunch today. So I absolutely love the salmon, but they're a bit of a problem sometimes because you're mulloway fishing, you're fishing for brim, you're fishing for trevally, you want like better eating quality fish. Especially when you're trying to entertain guests sometimes. Like sometimes you got someone coming over, you're trying to get a few fish, it'll be a good story. You want something else, but the salmon just keep coming. And even worse, the freaking shovel nose. So yeah. It can be an adventure. But that's fishing. It's the perseverance game. It teaches all those lessons that doing something hard requires.
That's funny because that's really one of the fundamental differences in my opinion. Maybe a lot of river fishermen will just say that I'm wrong, but between river fishing and sea fishing. Sea fishing, you don't really know what you're going to get when you put a bait out.
It's true.
Because you rig yourself more or less the same way.
Different size hook, maybe different bait a little bit.
Yeah, but that depends. It's very slight difference.
It's true.
Like for rivers, you really have to aim the fish.
Yeah.
Like you have to very thin line, depending on what you want. Very different hook on depending on what you want. And because fish are really wary, you have to really adapt to them. There's one that I've been trying to catch a lot. Very good eating too fish. Very recognized, very praised. It's a zander.
Oh yeah, I know Xander. I've never caught a Xander, but I've heard.
Yeah, they're very praised upon. I've never managed to find one. I only when the river flooded, I found a dead one on the shore and 70 centimeter. He was a big boy.
Wow.
Yeah, I found him. I was like, ah, and I've been searching for those fish. I've been.
Yeah, I've heard of the mythical Xander, that they're really hard to catch.
Yeah, they're very rare.
trophied and
Yeah.
cherished.
But you know,
Yeah.
when I started fishing, I wasn't getting any fish. I think I didn't get fish for 2 months. I got one fish in 2 months when I started fishing. And we were going fishing with one of my mates one day, and I was casting my lure out, and the big Xander got it.
Yep.
And I didn't. Oh no, that's not. I was gonna say I didn't react well, but basically I hooked, but my reel was too. Like my spool, no, on
Too
the contrary,
loose. Oh.
yeah, too loose. So I just said, and then I saw he was at my feet. He was at my feet, and I just saw a big fish like turn around and then leave away. And I was like, after months of not getting a fish, you don't get a fish because your spool was too loose.
It happens. It
Yeah.
happens all the time.
Yeah, and here when I arrived here, I lost a big fish
Yeah.
because my spool was too tight. So you know, fuck.
Dude, it honestly make you punch a wall. Like it actually will.
Oh,
Fishing
yeah.
can be the most frustrating thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're so right. You'll have the spool, and that's the thing. This is, I agree to some extent, especially from like a hardcore perspective of like, it is human error. Like if you lose a fish, as soon as you hook up, if that fish gets off, it's your fault. You didn't set the hook properly. You didn't reel in properly. You weren't ready. Something went wrong. It's on you. And I think from an accountability perspective, that's fair. But from a practical perspective, sometimes the fish just isn't hooked that well. And as soon as you start reeling, it just pops out. And it's just how it is. And you sort of like, that's the thing. You sort of got to roll with the punches a little bit because fishing is so hard. Just full stop, that when things like that happen, if I beat myself up over it, it's like golf, like you want to play golf and you want to have fun, but the problem is you get competitive and then you're like, this sucks, I'm not playing as well as I want to. And I try not to get in the same mindset when it comes to fishing. Like you lose a big fish and you're like, it happens, move on, but it's tough. It's tough. It's literally heartbreaking. I honestly, there's like 3 or 4 fish that fish, I don't exactly know what they were because I lost them, but 3 or 4 scenarios where I'm heartbroken. Like honestly, I'll lay in bed at night. It'll be like 10:30 p.m. just thinking about other stuff, and then I'll just think about losing that fish. It's just some that just break your heart because it was good, and what's even worse, a lot of time is you messed up to lose the fish.
Well, I know that.
Yeah.
Since I've been here, I've lost 4 or 5 big fish.
Yeah,
And one of them, I think it was a mile away.
It hurts.
And that really sucks. And I know exactly that it was my fault. Like, I really know it was my fault that day. I just saw it go, and for some fucking reason, I was fishing with circle hooks that night.
Oh, yeah?
I had a live yakker on it. Starts to go crazy. Leaves where bolts out, and I'm waiting, tightening the reel, and then I just get that fucking dumb reflex to hook.
Mm-hmm.
No fish anymore on it, and I get it back. And I see this very big lateral slash on the end of the yakker.
Yep.
So I send it to one of my father's friend who's in Melbourne, and he says, "Yeah, that's either a shark or mulloway that did that to your fish." And I'm like,
It hurts.
like, why were you fishing with circle hooks? Why? You don't know how to fish with circle hooks.
Well, honestly, if it was a shark, the circle hooks are actually what you need, because I don't really fish for sharks. But you want the big circle hook so you can kind of get it on the side of the mouth.
Yeah, not that they do swallow. They
Yes.
swallow it. Yeah, I know.
Exactly. So, and setting the hook on a shark like that is really important, and getting it in the right spot, because if the placement's bad, it can like just chew up your line, because obviously it's super sharp teeth.
Yeah.
So you can use a steel trace to try and prevent
Yeah,
that.
for me to steel trace, please.
Yeah. Well, like, I want to get into shark fishing as well, but it's like the fishing, like, it is Pokemon hunting at the end of the day. Like, you're trying to we talk about the Xander before, we talk about the Eagle Ray, we talk about all these species. Like, you gotta kind of choose what you're going to specialize in a little bit, otherwise you go crazy. And for me, it's the beach and the rock fishing. That's what I love the most. That's what I've grown up doing. That's what's accessible to me. And honestly, a couple, you know this, and Carl knows this too. In a couple months ago, I got a 4-wheel drive, so that opens up the possibility to potentially get a boat or a tinny and tow it. Whereas before, I just had like little VW Golf, so it was never an option. But now, you know, I look on Facebook Marketplace, tinny $250. Me and Carl spend a weekend doing it up. You know, who knows what's going to happen? So look, I think that might be a possibility in the future, but for right now, it's all land-based. And as you know, you've only been here for a short while and you've had crazy fishing experiences. You've got a kingy the other day. You've been spearfishing and had some success. Like, that's incredible. Because when I go to France, I don't know if I like my odds of catching anything. Honestly, if I had to put money on it, I don't know if we get anything. Because it's going to be a lot of effort.
Hard fishing.
It's going to be hard. Like, if I'm fishing in a river, I don't have any idea what I'm doing. Like, me and my mates are going down to Kosciuszko National Park, which is pretty much one of the only, it's like 5-6 hours south in the Australian Alps, and that's where there's like a bit of a ski season, but it's a bit of a myth. It's a lot of fake snow and stuff. Anyway, and it's not.
I'm happy to hear that. I was curious about that.
It's not ideal skiing condition.
Yeah, it's not like in the picture, the promotion pictures I see.
If you were visiting Australia like you are, and you asked me like, "Oh, should I do ski season here?" I'd say no, bro. Save it for Europe. Like, just save your money, and because you know you got way better conditions over there, and the season might be garbage. And the thing is, going over to Kosciuszko National Park in summer is awesome. There's like wild horses down there, brumbies. It's a bit of a controversial issue, but we won't get into that. There's these beautiful wild horses and they're like roaming free. There's trout in the rivers, which is what I'm getting onto. And I've never caught a trout before. I've tried one time. But when I went down there last year,
I remember what you told me. If I'm not wrong, you told me that your mate and you were just making heaps of noise. And just
we were fishing like we fish here, where we're just chilling out. And it doesn't matter how much noise.
Like, really, if I must say something, river fishing, discretion.
Yeah,
discretion, and like you must even be careful about your fucking steps along the river, not be too visible. Like, they're very wary fish. You gotta understand. Like, rivers are like 0.01% of the water in the world, so that means it's a lot smaller surface.
Yes,
a lot less life in it. And that means a lot more experience gained by the fish on our activities, in my opinion.
No, a year and a half ago, we went down there to the lake and we had a mate playing guitar. We were throwing the frisbee. We're like, you know, it was getting out of hand. We just didn't know. We just didn't know. Like, I was just like, oh yeah, we're fishing. Like, the fish can't hear us. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm stupid. But when I go back soon on Anzac Day long weekend, in like a month's time, the plan is to get the rods out and I have a flick and see if I can get my first trout. Yeah. And honestly, like you heard me go on my rant before, like the beach fishing and the rock fishing, that's where my heart is. But from a trophy perspective, from like a Pokemon collection perspective, I need the trout, the rainbow trout in the collection. You know, I need that photo, and I only really want one good one, like really, because they are good eating, but up there, like they're so rare in Australia that I might even just put it back.
Yeah, because sometimes it's just better.
Because it's really, because for me, it's for the trophy. You know what I mean? Like when you're taking salmon, like we took 10 salmon. I don't feel bad about that at all. You see salmon go through. There's a school of 1,000 coming through at a time, and we have 3 rods out, and all 3 rods hook up when we bring them in. It's like, it's a dream. It's almost unlimited fish. But over like in Kosciuszko National Park, not the case. Like, I imagine those trout numbers, they're quite healthy for, like, you know, international standards, because trout are pretty rare to catch anywhere. But you know, you don't want to be taking fish that you don't need. And for me, it's more about the trophy than it is the primal experience, you know? So we'll see. That might change. You might see me a picture of me coming up on this podcast in a month's time. Make me look like a huge hypocrite, but we'll see.
Yeah, like when they're playing with 2 fillets of like pink trout.
And then you hear me on the podcast like, man, I cooked up some butter. It was good. There's just a hard cut clip of that straight onto me eating it. Oh, anyway, we'll see. That's if I can even catch one in the first place, because you're right. I got no experience. When we went there last time, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, I can't teach you how to fish the river either. Like, it's a pretty hard. You're fishing on the river or in the lake?
It's a river.
It's a river.
Yeah.
So trout, they really like to stay close to the current. Mm-hmm. You have to and in not that deep water, like pretty shallow water, where you have a lot of stones.
Yep.
Look for those places. Mm-hmm. And like where in the, you know, where there's like small rapids that go in between rocks, and you see there's a little slack in between in front of those rocks.
Yes.
Try and aim for those spots there.
I've heard that.
Like they really, trout are lazy fish. From what all I've understood, they're ambush predators. They just wait for the feeding to come to them. And it's more or less a basic fishing rule fish rule, not fishing, but fish rule in my opinion is that you're searching for comfort, security, and food. Comfort means you don't move that much. Security means you're in a safe place. And food means food get brung to you, especially in the river. Like the fish, they use the river. The current brings them food. So like really look out for like those places where you see like this. It goes fast. You see the rivers going fast. There's sort of rapids.
Yep.
And you see these little places where there's slack.
Yes.
Try and look for those places there. And often also like during the end of the day, if there's a lot of flies around, normally you see them jumping.
Okay.
Yeah, you see the trout jumping.
Incredible.
Like not really especially jumping, but just yapping at the surface.
See the surface.
And also you in more or less deep pools sometimes. I don't know if for the rainbow, but basically you just see them. If you're, for example, can you pull up the picture of Espalion? Because we were talking about it and we didn't do it. and I can
That happens all the time.
If you can put this one
Pull
up
that up
here.
now. Yeah, put that on. Just zoom in for the audience. Yeah, pull that over.
So that is the old bridge. Behind you see that's the new bridge. And basically from that bridge here, I could often see like the trout. You see like rainbowy colors like touch the surface. Because trout, like what you need to understand is they need a lot of oxygen. That's also why they stick near the current. Because like near the rapids, sorry, not the current. Because it's very oxygenated there. And close to rocks. Because you know the water thrashing against the rocks create oxygen, create this.
Yep.
So basically, yeah, we could see them like here. And that's very funny because when I left here, that scaphander is always there, but since the floods disappeared into the river, so that's a fun fact.
Yeah.
And also, this is very calm. This is probably a photograph taken in summer. In winter, winter, there's big current here.
Oh, wow.
Like much more current.
Yeah, because it looks very still. Like,
it's not still at all.
That looks
like
that looks
water
incredible.
comes.
Yeah.
Water,
That looks incredible.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. Well, considering we've got the camper van that we're going to be using, we can sort of go anywhere to an extent. And this might make the list.
Well,
this looks amazing.
if you go there, there's a shop over there called Foggenkerset.
Okay.
And that's a pastry shop
All right.
that belongs to my family. It exists since 1911.
Oh my
And basically, long story short, my great grandmother lost her husband when he was 30. He got out. He owned a brick fabrication company. I don't know if that's how you say in English. I'm sorry for my poor use of English.
It makes sense.
Yeah, Gabe will have to put a translation.
No,
That'll be cool.
No, I hear you.
And he got out and heat shock because it was very cold outside. He just died. So she got left with 3 children. And some guy gave her a recipe about how to do fouasse, which is a very typical brioche from Aveyron, that region that I'm showing you right now. So she opened up that shop. She sold it on the market at first, and it caught up, and so she managed to feed her kid because of that, and it's still living until now. Only women in my family take up the shop, so it's only women all the time taking up the shop, and it's the best pastry in the world. I hadn't thought about it since I arrived in Australia, but thinking about it, I'm like, oh, I want to eat some. I swear I can just, I don't buy too much because otherwise I can just eat everything in one night. Wow. It's just so good. It's between bread and brioche.
Dude, now you make it. I have to go. You sold it. This picture, like, it's been the whole presentation. And that's crazy because this is some serious law for you as well, and a bit of a coincidence. So I'm half Serbian, half Australian English, you could say. And the Serbian side, my baba on that side, my grandma equivalent, I guess you could say, she opened a restaurant in the 70s and 80s in West Pennant Hills called Bonaparte. And it was a French restaurant, obviously after Napoleon Bonaparte. And they used to do, like, she was obviously quite well versed in Serbian food, but she also used to do like French food as well and a bit of a fusion. And that restaurant was around for, 20, 30 years and was a bit of a staple of the community. That's long gone now, but that's incredible. So, like almost 100 years of history.
Yeah,
well, more than 100 years of history in one restaurant. That's insane. Like generations on generations handed down.
Yeah.
Like
beautiful pastry shop. Yeah.
and that lineage matters. Like those things matter. And that's like not to get off topic onto like stuff that we always talk about, but that's why COVID pissed me off so much, because so many small businesses went under, especially in Australia.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, in France it's the same.
It's so sad.
Yeah, they're getting destroyed slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Like this village life, it's really interesting. At the same time, you know, it's a bit imprisoning, but at the same time, it's really nice to see like these human relationships between everybody. They all have these little stories to tell, and it's really nice.
Yeah.
And he would always talk to me about the shop, about how he loved it, and that really pleased me. Because my grandma, that I haven't really met, honestly, she used to own the shop.
Okay.
Before, well, she got retired and she died 2 years later, sadly for her.
Oh, wow.
So she passed it on. She had passed it on. But it makes me think about her all the time. Every time I eat it, and it's just so, it's really nice. It makes me, about lineage, like you say. And it's a blessing to be able to see something that has been created by your family long before you were even in the thought of existing.
It's true. And as you said, lineage matters. And knowing your heritage, where you come from, the struggle and effort and toil that your ancestors put in for you to be here, it matters. It matters. And you like every...
Definitely. For like the comfort in which we live also, we owe it to them.
Agreed.
Like
so true.
Like the situation we are in, and like nearly the easiness of life. Life has become really easy.
And like people don't even think about all the things that have happened to get us to this point.
Like
it's kind of just like we all spawned in, which is true. Like we didn't experience the hard times and the turmoil of the past. That was stories of long ago. None of us have ever seen that or experienced that. It's it's written down, it's portrayed in movies, but we haven't lived it. So we're just kind of like in this bubble of everything being okay all the time. You can always have a hot shower. You can always have food. You always have shelter. Life is good, and in a way, we've become soft because of that, and lost a lot of what we used to be.
It's a bit more that we reject it now.
That's the status.
We reject it, like saying it's not deserved or whatever. Like it's very hard to say what you deserve and don't deserve. But the reason why your ancestors did it is for you to be better, for their children to be better. The children wanted your parents to be better, and etc. Like that's just the way it is. And that there's a reason why people work and why they spend their lives working. It's for their lineage to continue and to be the most, not especially comfortable, but to live the most decent way possible. And like to reject it now and to say that we don't deserve it and we should be ashamed of it. I have a hard time understanding that and taking it into account.
It's very true. And it feels like that problem has definitely permeated Europe recently, and it's starting to, the tide's kind of been coming in and coming out in Australia for a long time, and now it's sort of shifted again. And, we have, I was just talking about Australia Day earlier, and we would have seen each other like not long after this happened, but this Australia Day was a bit of a landmark for me. But this is the most protests I've ever seen on Australia Day. It got a lot of coverage in the news, and it's the first time where I feel like Australia Day, because, people watching at home sort of know the context of the Australian political scene. You might not be familiar. Recently, One Nation has stormed through the polls, and One Nation is, a lot of people would say it's a radical right-wing party. I don't see it like that. But that's what people, maybe mainstream media would say, or people maybe a bit older. That's sort of how they would see it. And they're now like leading the polls, right? They got bigger approval ratings than the current sitting government. But my point is that all started from the Australia Day protests. That kicked off when Pauline Hanson did the speech, which is the leader of One Nation. She got up there and said, we shouldn't feel guilty. We need to stop immigration. And that's when the numbers started going crazy. And however you feel about it, for me, that was a landmark. I've never seen that before. I've never seen such a shift in the political climate in the country. And I think a lot of people will look back on that day and go, that was the day where people started taking their own side. That's when people started standing up and going, hey, I don't feel guilty. And I don't have anything to do with what happened 300 years ago. I'm living my life now. And I agree, we need to have moral standards in life, and life has sanctity and it has to matter. And you and I are both Christians, so we take that very seriously. But the crimes of my ancestors, I don't think that's going to work. I'm not going to feel ashamed for that. I'm going to be proud of my heritage. I'm going to be proud to be Australian, and I'm going to wave the flag and be excited to live here and be nationalistic. And because I'm nationalistic, I'm going to take care of the country. I'm going to treat the people with respect. And of course, I'm going to love and care for my family, which is going to grow my lineage in Australia. You know, a lot of my friends, they talk about, oh, I want to live over here, I want to live over there, and even like they want to live elsewhere permanently. For me, Australia is my home. Like, you know, I love the culture here. Like, I love the fishing, I love the surfing, the environment. Like, even just, you know, recently I've got the 4-wheel drive, which opens me up to do a lot more domestic travel. But Australia is my home. I got no intention to leave. This is my plan A, B, and C. I don't have any exit plan. So, you know, for me, to being proud of the country is kind of like part of my identity. And to say that I should feel guilty for it is like, it just doesn't sit right with a lot of people. And I think for the first time like that's been brewing for a long time. Like, Australians kind of know the culture and the environment we're in, but I think sort of for the first time in a long time, we've had the courage to say it, and now it's reflecting in the political scene. So I don't know how I feel about all of that, because I've talked about this on the show before. I don't think Pauline Hanson's the best candidate for the next prime minister. The election's a long time away, and a lot can change. But in the same way it's happening in France, it's happening here. And it seems to be happening in the US as well. Sort of the Western world, Canada, New Zealand, all of Europe, kind of going through a bit of a identity crisis, you could say.
Of course. I mean, it's been... we've been like going against our culture for... Well, not going against, but how to say it. We've been going down sort of self-righteous path where we want to do the ultimate good, whatever that means, and it's very hard to put in English. I just find that it's there's no real logic in it. There's a lot like it's always very one-sided, and it's not coherent, and we're just telling people to be ashamed of who they are, who they were, and what their ancestors did. I lost my train of thought, honestly, because it's a very hard subject to get onto, and I don't know how to express myself in English about it. I'm trying to find the good word. Like, we say bien pensant, a word of good thinkers. That's what we say. And, you know, there's a quote that says that the best is the enemy of what is good. Like, you can't always be good. Like, if you're always good, you just end up getting stepped upon. And that's a bit what's happening in every European country, and that maybe was what was happening in your country with that guilt. You're just letting people step on you and tell you what you are and what you're supposed to be and why. Like, is that we are free countries and we are very based upon that. So I don't understand why we should... I don't know. Honestly,
it's that. Yeah, it's really that.
Honestly, it's very incoherent what I'm saying.
No. It makes sense, and it's real. Don't apologize. Like, this is real. It's real emotion. This is an emotional issue. Like, on this show, I try and be as serious as possible and try and talk about the facts and what's happening and what I see. But it makes me sad, like deeply upset, because I care for my lineage and I care for my country, and to see it disrespected publicly, and even worse, to see Christ disrespected publicly. That gets me going. It makes me upset. There's nothing it draws an emotional response from me. There's nothing I can do about it. It's what I care about. You know, if I love those things, which I do, then if you mock those things, if you disrespect those things, if you treat them like they don't matter, and that those ideas or ideologies didn't build the country that we're standing in, then it hurts my feelings. Like, I know it sounds cringe, but it's true.
Yeah, but it's true. It's also that, like, our good, like, this empathetical way of thinking that has become, in my opinion, over empathetical. It comes from our morals that date back to, well, our parents, grandparents, and there's a Christian influence in it. You can't deny it. Like, if you just read the New Testament, you read the Gospels, that's like exactly like our politeness, our manners, respecting each other, and loving and being right and fair. Because for me, it's not important to be good, but it's most important to be right and to be fair. We don't live in a very fair world these days. It's not very fair the way we're treated, and the way I keep on losing my train of thought because it's a very hard topic, honestly, to get onto. I don't feel I have the right words, or even that at this moment right now in my life, I'm in the right mindset to have a really deep conversation on it, because I'm in a quest at the moment. I'm only thinking about fishing and hunting.
Bro, living the absolute dream right now.
It's not the absolute dream, because you have to, you have always these thoughts about the future. But I have not fled home, but just home makes me sad. But same as you, I wouldn't see myself, even though like this is a beautiful paradise, I wouldn't see myself not be living in France and not raising my kids in France. That's where I come from.
Yeah. And when you talk about it, like that emotion plays through this conversation. Like when you talk about this town, the bakery, like it's obvious, it's your home. You love it. And I think people would get that from me too. When I talk about the Northern Beaches, when I talk about all the stuff I do, I love it. I'm not leaving. This is my home. So, that doesn't mean I'm not open to opportunities, but at the end of the day, where I want to raise my kids, where I want to grow old is in Australia. Because not just because I love it, but because it's my culture. And I sort of owe it to my lineage to, extend what they created, coming here for a better life. Like my Serbian ancestors, just my grandparents and further back, fled the country to come to Australia to set up a better life for my mother and then eventually for me, And so I'm here. I'm home. We made it. This is what they, this is what they sacrificed
Hard work,
for. So that's how I see it. But you're right. It's an emotional conversation, and
and I don't do well with telling my emotions.
I
don't
understand.
know how to put words on them, and like it's very like, especially because I don't have the right words in English to put on it. Like I would feel a bit like an imposter trying, and it sounds so incoherent and I can't formulate it correctly. I don't want to dive into it, honestly, because it would just go against my personal fight.
No, I hear you.
And just to not give like a real... it wouldn't express my thoughts correctly.
I hear you.
So sadly, I can't... I'll think about it, and I reckon we'll be able to speak about it like more profoundly another day
in the future.
Yeah, in the future. Do justice, because I have to think about it. I was really dwelling on those thoughts and for like 2 years ago, and the thing is, it eats up a bit at your brain to think about it, because it makes you sad, but at the same time you have a hard time trying to find what is fair, what is wrong, and even like you have to, it's very hard to get the background and to understand the full picture, so you always sorry,
no, it's okay.
So it's a very hard thought process, and like to have to translate it, it's even harder.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
And I think that I believe that I know what I believe, and I don't know who I am, but I know what I believe in, and what is my fight. But I wouldn't be able to justify my fight completely, because it's something more important than that. It's that, like, I don't feel that I need to justify myself, as long as I am fair and righteous, as is told by Christ, as I'm not stepping on others, not using them, not trying to manipulate others. As long as I am in this path of being somebody just, as being fair, you can't say otherwise, then I don't feel that there is as much justification to do, and I don't like to debate on it, honestly. I try just to apply equal respect to everybody, every living thing, fish included, and I just live off of that. I wish it's a quest. It's a quest for... I'd say it's a quest for power and glory through hunting. So like, it's from our day standards. Like, this is a very controversial way of thinking and being. But I wish to hunt down every apex predator, catch, kill, capture, eat, whatever. Not necessarily kill all the time, but that's something I want. And it's a quest for power and personal glory. I don't wish others to give me that false sense of glory. It's really personal glory, and it's a way of thinking that I'm able to survive I'm able to dominate over nature, but through respect, of course.
I know.
Like, I think that's the central point. That's why it sounds wrong, because when you say you want to dominate over nature, that sounds very wrong. It sounds like you want to use it, but no. Like, I mean, man is the apex predator, but we can get killed by any other apex predator that exists. Like, being on top of the food chain like we are, that doesn't give us. We're not sitting, how to say this? We just can get killed at any moment by any animal. Like, we're not the strongest. But we are, but at the same time. Oh dear, I'm really lost in my train of thought.
No, it's making sense. It's making sense. No.
They have, like, as humans, even though we're basically at the top and we have like much more developed brains, like we are still very
Vulnerable. Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
But we're frail, vulnerable
Exactly.
creatures, and so many are so much stronger than us. Sorry, you were saying.
And so I'm just going back to what you were saying at first, and that's what excites me. It's not pleasure. It's that sense of power. That's what excites me.
Yeah, see, I don't have that.
And that's really the difference. It's because, like, being able to, like, I know that I can be the one to die. Like, I know, like, that's why I love that.
That's why it gets you going.
Yeah, it's like, it's real adversity.
Yeah.
And it's really conquering. And because when you sent me the message about what you wanted us to talk about, you said about adventure.
True.
What is adventure? Adventure, in my honest opinion, is conquest. Conquest of what? Conquest of oneself, maybe? For our ancestors, probably most of them, it was conquest of a new life, getting a new life. For others, for princes, lords, it was getting new land. Like, you can, like, it's always, there's something behind it. Why do you want to go on that adventure? And there's always a quest behind it, otherwise it wouldn't really be an adventure. It can even be an adventure to get lost, but that's your quest. It's just to get lost in nature. You know, it can be pretty much anything. So I see that's my way of adventure. It's like getting past danger, being able, because I feel fear a lot. I'm somebody who feels fear a lot. I'm very afraid, although I do very dangerous things.
Yes.
In some regards, but I still do have that big sense of fear. That, like, I am very afraid. Like, when I was rethinking about the spearfishing, I was like you're in not like, it wasn't murky, but it's still, when you get further from the rocks, you know that it's like, like, that's bull shark territory right there. And even though I have it in the mind at that moment, it's like, really, when I look back on it, like, I get afraid. I get afraid of it, and I'm afraid of my quest. I'm really afraid of what I want, because I want a family, or not even that. I just don't want to be missing a leg, missing an arm.
So true.
You know,
the price is so high.
Like, the price
is so high.
The price is so high, and
they don't need that much, bro. They don't need that.
Yeah, they don't need that. Yeah, but I don't need that much either.
Yeah,
you know?
I do, bro. I can't be in the wheelchair. I need to be walking around.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Is I don't need to go and get them either.
Yes,
some regard, that's what I mean.
Yeah, you're right. When I kill a fish, I take the whole thing. I don't take a flipper and throw it back. You're right.
They can't get me. It's coming down with me.
Yeah, it's true. It's actually true. Wow, that's absolutely hilarious.
No, that's why I have such a hard time expressing. That's why I wanted to get onto that. A hard time expressing about political thoughts about how Europe is going, because I've switched off of thinking about that, and it's become more instinctive. Like, I'm basically unable to express what I really want out of that quest. That's why it seems so blurry, and my train of thought doesn't follow it, because it's become instinctive. Like, it's become something that I'm slowly going towards, but I can't express it. My mother says I'm very wild. That wild is like, that's how she described me to a very good
Perfect.
friend.
And it's true, because I've known you for a little while. You are a wild guy, but that's like,
but wild in, like, the real definition of the term, like, nature, like, not wild like all crazy.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like,
not party wild, or just like off the rails wild, like a natural wild, and like That's the best way to be, because that's the adventure. That's
I don't know, honestly, because the thing is, I'm conflicted between the man and the wild in it. Like, you know what? Because this quest is very good, but what's the future behind?
Yeah. What's the end
happens,
goal?
What happens after? How do I survive in this civilized world, being what I am? And that's a
hard question to answer.
Hard question. So that's
Takes
why
a lifetime.
That's maybe it does. But you know, even though those are my goals at the moment, I'm not strong enough. Definitely. That's why fishing is very important. That's why spearfishing is very important. That's why I'm asking you about the marinas, about trying to find work on boats, learning to navigate. You know, that comes back to what we were saying about Captain Cook. Those were people with talent. They knew how to navigate and understand waters and how to go through them and arrive safely on land. And there was no satellite to help you. Nobody was coming from home.
Yeah.
Or at least for a month.
Men of genuine courage, as we talked about before.
Yeah, genuine courage. Like, there's ill intention in every man, even these days, you know, even those self-righteous bastards that proclaim and piss on everything that has been done. Like, they have ill intentions. It's just that nowadays ill intentions are disguised and are much more subtle, sorry.
No.
Yeah, and it's, so we may think that, I lost my train of thought again.
But they are the subtle, like the disguise is so real, and it's the new norm, you know.
Yeah,
like they've made it normal to disguise it. Like the mainstream stuff is that's the bad stuff, and they made it mainstream for that reason, so it could be accepted, you know. And now the stuff that we talk about, being wild, getting out in nature, you know, just living the lifestyle that we've lived, that we've talked about on this show for the last hour and a half. That's rare. To meet people with genuine stories, with genuine passions, who love the conquest, who love the adventure. That's rare. You know, a lot of the people, even people that I have on the show that I know are going to be interesting, don't have what you and I have, which is the sense of wild adventure and storytelling and you know, the conquest, you know, the mission, exactly what we were talking about before when it comes to, like, we both loved hiking, we both loved being out in nature, going to the beach, etc. Fishing or even hunting, now that I'm starting to get into more of my hunting stuff, that's the trophy, that's the prize, that's the goal at the end, and that drives you to achieve it, you know. And that conquest, it only exists in a few these days, I feel, and it's been stripped out. And exactly what we were talking about before when we were talking Knights Templar and, you know, the Captain Cook stuff as well. Those were men of genuine courage who had genuine capability and skill set. And the older I've gotten, the more important I realize that is, to be a true man of capable nature who can problem solve on the fly.
I can pass something down.
Yeah, exactly. It's
something worthwhile. And I think it's maybe a bit dramatic thought, but I mean, if I want that, if one day God blesses me with a family, that I am able to pass down to them, like, all these skills of, like, how to prepare food, how to cook food, how to get the food, how to use your environment, how to swim, how to correctly swim, how to know how to hold your breath correctly, how to know how to find these resources to get another resource behind. Because if everything goes to shit one day, or even if it doesn't, but just if they want to live their life and be just wild, just live it out and do whatever they want, if they know how to feed themselves, they've already got it sorted. That's what I reckon. Like, food is the central, most important thing in human survival. Not in human life, but in human survival. Like, we depend on it. We depend on food and water. Knowing how to filter water and knowing how to obtain food, that's the most important thing. And that's why hunting is so important.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's good that we don't have to depend on hunting and fishing, whatever. Because now we can have it easily at the store. And in some regards, I'm happy because it means that my family can survive easily.
Of course.
But at the same time, that's not a guarantee. Like, those shops don't seem like they're going to be able to continue that way forever. The world is having problems. Seems like it's becoming more and more of a shit show. And like maybe this model that we're living in doesn't work that well, apparently. So I
think
don't
that's
know. I don't really know. I can't really give an answer. But if that model ever fails, and that we don't get food that easily anymore, like we're gonna turn back to these skills, and most of us, as you say, don't have them anymore, and it's okay. I don't think that everybody has to be able to do that, but it's important for me, at least, to be able to pass that on to my children.
Yes.
If I'm able to have some, or to pass it on to other people, and also have a good conception about it and a good approach to it. I find that is pretty important too. Like we're feeding off the sea, but we don't want to empty the sea at the same time. I think you and me agree on that. Like we're happy to get fish out of it, but at the same time, we want it to continue. Again, that comes back to God. God gave us dominion over animals, but it's not to exploit them brainlessly. It's to do it with respect, so we can feed ourselves, and that those are after us can feed themselves too.
So true.
So it's and that all comes back to what I was saying about that conquest for power and glory. But power and glory comes through understanding that, being able to get your food, be able to capture these predators, and be able to get on top, but at the same time have respect and also have a foresight, being able to understand how this is going to play off in the future. And that's what I'm trying to learn at best, and why I'm trying to master as many skills as I can: navigation skill, bush skills, hunting skills, fishing skills, and craftsmanship.
Of course.
Like it's just being able to use your hands and your brain together, and that is one of this. And adapting. Like for me, that's the singular most important thing that we need to be able to master. It's adaptation. Adapting to our environment and to the situations we have in front of us. And that is what being human is. I reckon if we look at history, it's adapting. It's always adapting.
It's true. And us losing the sense of adventure and living in the way that we live now with the grocery stores and everything that you've talked about, it's kind of like a subversion of the human experience. Like we're getting one version of it, but for thousands of years we were living a completely different way, and we're getting like the worst shitty version. Like we're getting the light version of the human experience. The human experience used to entail all these emotions, genuine love for a girl that that you didn't meet online, and there's not a million girls that you've seen before. It's only like 12 women in your town, and you're in a village, and you actually love this chick, and you guys have known each other for years, and like you actually experience true genuine love. You actually experience true genuine craftsmanship and hunting skills, and being primitive and knowing how to build houses and how to actually have real tangible practical capability where you are able to do multiple things, sort of be a jack of all trades and be a real man, be someone who can be dependable to fix the transport, to fix the house, to hunt for food, to be a provider. And I think in that sense, like it's sort of, I guess, power and glory when you said that, because those words are very like emotional. Like they incite like a very like emotional, at least response in me, because they're very like strong words, emotive words, I guess I could say. But when I think about it, you're right, because the way I think about it is my end goal is to be sort of the best provider possible and the most capable man I can be. And I'm on like the very start of this very long road journey. Yeah. And the only way to get there is through the experience, the hard work, and adapting and learning on the fly. So, that journey of being a provider, I've never thought of it like that. I've never thought of it as a journey for power and conquest, but in a way it is, because in a way I'm trying to become more capable in my environment, to have conquest and to have dominion over my environment and over animals as well, in context of fishing and hunting. So you're right, and I agree, like that power and conquest. And I guess that's, in a way that's what I really want, to be not just like, it's not just about the respect that garners, because that's like, when we were talking about it before, our motivations for doing the stuff that we do, the motivations for being adventurers, our motivations for wanting to catch the biggest fish. And I always think about my motivations for why I want to do it. And is it for my own self-righteous ego, or is it for something deeper and more meaningful, like becoming a better person and eventually providing for a family? And I battle with that all the time, because, the Gospels too. Yeah, exactly. It's a balance, right? And like even, you know, Jesus preaches about this in the Sermon on the Mount, where you want to do good deeds, but you don't want to be the one to show them off. You don't want to be the person who's gloating, who's
That's not glory.
Yeah, exactly. That isn't glory, and that isn't legacy. So I battle with that a lot, like sometimes too. And even, you know, even when like, you know, like fishing, you know, it's all about the photo. You know, if you don't get the photo with the big mulloway, you might as well not even catch it. Like if I caught a big mulloway tonight and I didn't, like, the first thing I think about is get the photo, because that's, but like, I shouldn't think like that, because then is it really, is it really
animal, you know?
Yeah, well, and is it really about the adventure then, Ethan?
Yeah.
If you're going to do all this effort, if you're going to go to that work, and as soon as you get the big fish, it's about the photo because I know I can share the photo. Like, you know, I question, do I even love it? Is it about the fish? Is it about me fishing? Or is it about, or is it about the external stuff I desire?
Yeah.
Which is, you know, it's unavoidable. I wish I didn't have it in me. I wish I didn't require that, but I do, you know? And so that's something I balance with too, because you're trying to, like, you know, fishing teaches discipline, it teaches persistence, it teaches diligence, but
humility
and being able to be disciplined and respectful in killing an animal as well, because that's what I'm very like strict on that, I guess I could say. As soon as I catch the fish, I try and treat it with as much respect as possible. I dehook it without trying to hurt it. I don't try and rip hooks out. I try and do it very respectfully. And then if I am going to keep the fish, I brain it straight away and just make sure it can't feel any pain. And then I bleed the fish and put it on ice. I do it very respectfully. I don't keep fish that I don't need. I don't do anything disrespectful. I don't throw fish back like in a mean way or anything like that, because it's, you know, when it, like, especially in fishing, when it's, you know, it can be a game of inches or a game of heartbreak or, you know, complete elation. There's a bit of karma to it, you know. You got to treat it with respect and treat it with dignity.
Live animals, you know.
Exactly, they're live animals, and they mean so much to us as fishermen.
Oh,
you know,
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the fish, mate.
Come on, this has been an absolute banger episode. See, like serious fishing focus, but we touched everything. This has been so good.
Yeah, expression has been a bit hard at some point.
No, honestly, honestly, you did really well. Like, I'm not just saying that to glaze. Like, that was really good. Like, and even just when we're getting raw and like talking about our countries and our feelings and emotions, like, I don't express myself that well at times as well. But that's like, sometimes that can be the best, because it's like, it's not rehearsed. People can tell that we're being real and we're being honest and we really care, and it genuinely affects us, because
but it didn't serve my fight well, you know, because I wasn't able to express it and the words wouldn't come to me. So it was just, for me, it's frustrating, because not being able to express my thought, that's one of my biggest frustrations in life. That's why I've been working on French for years, is just to be able to put perfect words on my thoughts and really put them out.
Oh, how much of a skill is that? Hey.
Oh, that's a big skill.
Big time skill. I've learned that doing the podcast, and I try and do a bit of writing as well. And and we talked about your journal as well, which is, look at this, guys. This is absolutely incredible. I saw this and I was like, is this a Bible or is this a notebook? And that is something straight out of Indiana Jones. It's crazy. But I like, when you're writing, the ability and the skill or the talent to find the right words, it's, you know, like the art of literature is so complex and so fascinating and so enthralling, because like you can contribute to it. You know, I've got a pen and paper right here. I can write whatever I want, but to write something meaningful, you know, it sort of depends and relies on my entire human experience and my whole perspective.
It means like when you start writing on paper, like you know, when you're thinking something, it's not the same thing as when you express it, be it by voice or by writing. It really isn't the same thing, because when you think, there's shortcuts.
Yes.
Like there's shortcuts, and because you get your point, you don't put words on it. But when you're trying to get words on it, that's when you find yourself confronted with a pickle.
Yes.
Because that's the problem I was having right now. Is in French I'm able, because I've been working on it for a long time. I've been only re-speaking English for 1 month.
Yeah. And dude, you speaks really well. Even in the last, like...
Yeah, but I grew up in England.
Yes.
Like that, so that helps. But I haven't been like really speaking English for at least 10, 11, 12 years.
Yeah, wow.
So like I have to refine those words, and I'm working on it, and I'm very happy to be in Australia for that.
Yeah.
Reworking in English, like speaking English every day. I feel blessed. I'm so happy because English is like it's my second tongue. Like I grew up with English boys. Like so.
Brings you back to a happy time.
Oh,
you know?
it makes me happy.
Oh, the good old days in the motherland.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Oh, come on. This has been absolutely
Yeah,
fantastic.
thank you.
You're the absolute
Thank
man.
you.
And dude, we'll do this again sometime, and hopefully we can go on that trip as well.
Yeah, that would be beautiful.
That
That
would
would
be
be
sick.
beautiful.
Adios, everyone. Catch you next time. Oh, boys, that was in